News coming to you live. Taurus News coming to you live. Station X952 Tronic. The big one, big one, big one, big one.
Good afternoon, peeps. I'm back. I've had a busy day, which is why I haven't responded to Ryan's post so far. So it's not because I'm ignoring you, Ryan. It's just because, well, I have a life. So before we get into Ryan's thing, I wanted to look at some stats. So we're the my number one listener for all the audio clips so far is Ryan Hayes with 14 listens. And the number one city in Australia for my listeners is Townsville. That's right, Townsville, you're number one. And by almost a half, I think that was about a half. So it's approximately 50% of the listens came from Townsville. So, back to Ryan's tweet. I know you've all been waiting for this, really excited. I saw she posted something last night and I waited till I got on Twitter today so we could all share this moment of Ryan gloriness. So, as for my number one fan, Ryan, what have you to say? It seems I know what I'm debating. It certainly isn't a lot. And she's posted me something on Pasted again. I look forward to your response. I look forward to my response as well, Brian, because I haven't even looked at your pasted thing. So wait, I'll go and get it up. I've just looked at Ryan's post and it's really long. So I think we'll read it in sections and deal with it sections at a time. As someone who I assume has the basic human decency to refer to others with the correct pronouns that are so important nowadays, I find it extremely rude that you're referring to me as she, when in fact I identify as a male. It is so disrespectful of you to continue to believe that I am a Christian when I have stated I am not. I may have political beliefs that are similar to Christians, that does not mean I am. I don't discount the fact that you choose to identify as a transgender person, and you certainly wouldn't like if I did. Well, Ryan, I will apologise for that. We will actually use your correct gender pronouns of male. Okay, I should have picked that up earlier. I do apologise. However, I would say, Ryan, you're on a number one Twitter feed. That majority of the people, Christian, non-Christian, who support Laurel Shelton have never used my correct gender. That is right. You're getting what I cop every day for the last 3 years. And you just have to look at Queensland Jack. Queensland Jack does this to me all the time. I cop this all the time from the people on here. And you're part of this group of people who have to actually target the transgender community. Believe it or not, you are actually part of this problem. So I do take your point that you're a male. However, please understand that I actually get the same, I get actually called this, and I have told people every second day that I am female. And if you can go back and you look there, and Queensland Jack is the first person who goes on about reproductive pairs. There's a lot of them. Lowell Shelton, who's you're on his page. He's a big offender. Seriously, you would never get Lowell say, I take your point. He is too, his head stuck up his bum to acknowledge that. So if you're gonna cry about it, this is the one place you shouldn't be crying about it, because really, you feel the pain that we feel every day. I just had a quick pre-read of the next section, and you've good points there, right? I'm also finding it difficult to understand the point that you're making about informing me that what Lyle Shelton's Twitter feed is. But I think what you mistaken, Lyle is the Communications Director for the Australian Conservatives, a party and ideal that I believe in. His views need to be taken into consideration as they are valid and have every right to be expressed. And project copious amounts of hate onto anyone whose views conflict with yours. Usually this means throwing insults around and avoiding the fact that there's no substance to arguments. Well, Ryan, you're full of shit again. I'm not going to say you're full of shit because we all know that if you want to look back at history, Lyle Shelton actually started off in the Australian Christian lobby, and before that, I believe he's in the National Party. So how about you do some research? Lyle Shelton has attacked the LGBT community for many years. He has good representation in Parliament. He talks to all the politicians. We're well aware of him. He's dangerous, very dangerous. The point that you're actually making light of this is actually disgusting. He is the one who's attacking the transgender community, especially kids, and calling us child groomers. So, right, are you going to call us child groomers as well? Because that's what Lyle calls us, child groomers and rapists. So this is what your Australian Conservatives call us. And if I remember rightly, before the last election, Cory Bernardi was posting images of kids looking at a pedophile, like dreaming about pedophiles. What's the pedophile over in England? The big one? Yeah, well, they're doing all sorts of fun stuff. So if you point that you're actually part of this, you're thinking of Australian Conservatives, well, let me remind you what the Australian Conservatives do not like. They do not like marriage equality, they hate gender identity, like the transgender community, they want to actually abolish marriage equality, and they also want to stop abortion, and they want to push religious freedom laws, which means that you cannot say anything positive about the LGBT community. And if you've been reading the post on here, instead of crying like you are again, then you would understand this. Oh, okay, now what you know, I'm thinking. This debate was started out of respect, and I think that it is blatantly obvious that who has been disrespectful, who has one throwing around their weight around. I believe it, or not, or get very nasty, but you choose to be, if any genuine or intellectual prints are made on your topics being originally discussed. Thank you for your cooperation. Well, Ryan, male, Australian, I assume. Actually, I have seen your photos on your profile. What you're saying is the same thing that every other conservative / Christian / extremist on this page says. That is, you all say that you're treating us with respect, and yet by nature, we put you in the category of extreme conservatives. You're far over to the right. And seriously, that puts you in the point where you have extreme views. Lyle has extreme views on the LGBT community, and for some reason you think we have to respect him. Well, Lyle has actually dedicated the next 20 years to overturning marriage equality. Do you believe that that is a good position for him to take? Do you believe that the coal industry is the right for the future? I hate to have to tell you this, but coal mines are actually shutting down. That is right, Ryan. Coal is not the future. If it was, then places like our country is at the moment, is the mercy of China. China is our main coal buyer at the moment. China is reducing its dependency on coal. They are putting in renewable technology, which means if you actually did your research, Ryan, you would see that anyone who wants to put in a new coal mine is barking up the wrong tree, and you'll find that the new Adani mine, or whatever it is that Lyle's been dreaming about, the banks refuse to fund it. They refuse to fund it so badly that they want the government to underwrite it. So let's then talk about, but back to energy. The Liberal Party or the Conservatives actually sold our power industry. That's right, they sold the generators, Ryan. And now we have Lyle complaining about Liddell Power Station, which is not far from where I live, being shut down in a couple of years' time. Government has no say over this anymore. We sold that asset. That is, the Australian people, via the government, sold the Liddell Power Station. Therefore, it's a private business. For everything your Conservatives have been telling us, they believe that private business are basically can make their own decisions. After all, there is actually enough generator capacity for us. But what happens? Well, over in South Australia, we noticed we had a big storm that knocked out a lot of transmission towers. So what did your Conservatives blame it on? The renewable energy. So what else did happen over there that was really interesting? So one of the problems in South Australia in the big blackout was that one of the generators was offline because of national regulator told it to stay offline. And by the time they actually issued the buy request to buy power from that plant, it was too late. That is, the plant needed many hours. I think it was close to 6 hours to start up. Time went through all of its normal things. One of the things that generators have to do is they have to synchronize to the grid. So this generator did not have its time required to come on the stream or even be on standby. And South Australia plunged into a blackout. It's nice if your Conservatives did not actually look at the facts. It's like let's look at Melbourne. The Conservatives have been going on about race issues, about crime caused by foreigners, or racial issues. The police have said there are no crime issues in Melbourne, especially around race. They've said it many times. Even people from Melbourne have said Melbourne is safe. And yet Conservative politicians keep on, who are actually just trying to get votes, and we'll include Lyle in that, keeps on going on about issues because, well, Lyle is racist. So what is your position on the crime in Melbourne, Ryan? Are you going to support that as well? Or are you saying that there's no crime in Melbourne? Well, not, and it's a normal amount of crime. There is no place on the planet that has no crime. However, we're looking at exceptions, and Lyle is after that. Also, what's your views on abortion, Ryan? Do you believe that women should not have abortions? Because I can tell you that Lyle has been going on about that, and I don't know which parts I've gone over again because I'm about to end this. But why is it your Christian thugs, well, you're not Christian, but why are the street preachers allowed to stand outside the abortion clinics? So Ryan, while you don't identify as Christian, you're identifying as conservative. We basically consider you one and the same because Lyle and the Australian Conservative Party are basically doing the same song sheet, and we see people like you all the time. But it's been fun, like reading your stuff. So hopefully this answered some of your questions. I'll look forward to your response.
What was that?
That was very strange.
It was very weird.
It was peculiar.
It was kind of amusing.
Yes, it was rather funny.
It was incredibly funny.
I loved it.
Hilarious! Wonderful!